Good morning. Happy Monday. We're jumping into a new week together. And it's always awesome for me to start my week right here with you guys. Just before we get started with this week's work, and I'm very excited about this week's work. It's really, really good stuff. I want to remind you that the best way for you to get into our meditation is to become, for a moment, deliberate about your breathing. Inhale through your nose, nice and slow. Draw your breath all the way deep down into your belly. Imagine that in your belly is a balloon, and as you inhale, you're inflating that balloon, and as you exhale, that balloon deflates again. And after a couple of minutes of breathing together, we'll be ready to jump into today's journey. Lorraine, good morning. Maggie, good morning. Anthony, I don't know if it's good morning or good evening anymore on your side. I know a change is just happened or just coming. I'm not sure. Maggie, I'm guessing for you too. Normally you're 2 hours behind us. Maybe it's 6 a.m. for you now? I don't know. We'll see. Morning, says Anthony. Okay, right. Your time has shifted. Estelle, good morning. Have I missed anyone? Charlene, I think I saw you pop in. Good morning. It's good to see everybody. So, somebody, good morning. Good to see you there. Happy Monday. Right, we're in a new week. We got some really good content for this week. This week, our teacher is Charles Eisenstein, and my word, I love this dude's work. I know I say it every week. That's why I choose these people, because I really enjoy their work. If you don't know who Charles Eisenstein is, do a search for Charles Eisenstein, do a search for his quotes, and see what is there. His work is awesome, and it really helps us jump into this new week together. Let's get cracking. He says, we have to create miracles. We have to create miracles. Hey, Michelle, good morning. Happy Monday. It's good to see you. Off to the start of a new week. He says we have to create miracles, and then he describes in his words what he thinks, what he means by miracle when he says that word. He says, a miracle is not the intercession of an external divine agency in violation of the laws of physics. I love this kind of scientific technical description. A miracle is not the intercession of an external divine agency in violation of the laws of physics. A miracle is simply something that is impossible from an old story, but possible from within a new one. Doesn't that sound awesome? I love the simplicity of that, and I love the truth of that too. A miracle is simply something that is impossible from an old story, but possible from within a new one. And we had this discussion yesterday. I was listening to someone say how a year ago, 2 years ago, where she's at now would seem completely impossible. If anyone had told her where she'd be or how she'd be, how much more whole and healed she'd be, she would say, that's completely impossible. Something that is completely impossible from an old story, but that becomes available to you from a new one, is what Charles Eisenstein describes as a miracle. Jacqueline, good morning. Happy Monday. It's awesome having you here today. Good to see you. Charlene, I think I've said hello already, but I'll say hello again if I might have missed you. One more thought by Charles Eisenstein. He says, we are all here to contribute our gifts towards something greater than ourselves, and we will never be content unless we are. He says, this is what humans are. He says, this is how we are. We are here to contribute our gifts to something greater than us. And how we are is, we won't be content until we are contributing our gifts to something greater than what we are. So there are two thoughts that we dive into this week with. The first thought is this, and we'll get into it in our meditation. Without changing what I do, without saying I need to have a new job or have something completely different, a new direction, that might be valid as well. But without changing what I do, how could I more clearly bring my gifts to what I'm already doing? That is a question we're asking in our meditation today. And then on the idea of miracles and old stories and new stories. What miracle is my old story withholding from me? Our old story tends to limit us into old beliefs. What miracle is my old story withholding from me? Right, if you're ready, we're diving into today's meditation right now. You can close your eyes. I will start with the first few big breaths together. Here we go. Take a deep breath in. And out. Take a deep breath in. And out. A deep inhale. And let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. I want to remind you of right now what you're busy doing. Of course, you're busy breathing. You're allowing your body to rise as much as you can with every inhale and fall as much as you can with every exhale. However, you're also being deliberate about this. You are making a choice. You are choosing again and again to sit yourself down, bring your attention to your breath, and try and be here, present, now. It is a choice. Because for the most part, we have a story, multiple stories, narratives that resist this. Sit and breathe again. You are right now making a choice again. And I want to remind you of the power of that choice. This is the only way we ever soften old patterns and create and reinforce new patterns, one decision at a time. We don't install new patterns, new habits, new systems in our body, new neural pathways, without choosing them again and again and again. You are teaching your body and your brain with your choice. And it's all about the choices that we continue to make in a moment-to-moment way. I want to congratulate you for this choice. Again, the decision to sit yourself down for a meditation and reinforce a neural pathway that has been developed, making it stronger and making it easy to choose in future. And congratulate you for all the positive decisions you will continue to make. That doesn't mean that sometimes we inadvertently reinforce an old habit that we don't want anymore. But I trust in you, and I trust that you catch yourself and you return yourself once again to the choosing of your new habits, your new patterns, your choosing of your new story. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down. Take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles, forward and to the left, and forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. Take a deep breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened into a space of presence as much as we can in this moment, we'll turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, this would be a great place to stop. And if you are here for the whole journey, with every next inhale, we'll do a short breath hold, followed by a long, slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, feel into your body, and as you do that, as you feel the muscles of your body soften, invite softness into every part of your body. Take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow. Feel how your shoulders fall. Feel how your body softens. Feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel yourself melting, feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly, and it invites you to follow. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but only for as long as it feels easy. Followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, Welcome yourself to the start of a new week. See yourself standing on the edge with your toes peeking just over the edge, ready to step in. Take your next big breath. Standing at the start of a new week, I love looking into the week ahead and reminding myself what is on the program this week, what is in the calendar, what is coming up. With your next big breath as you dive deep into you, bring to your mind every day of this week ahead. What are the things that you know are happening this week? The things that are in the calendar. Look at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And remind yourself of what this week holds. Take your next big breath. What is it that you want to create this week? What is your intention for this week? What are your goals for this week? Take the next deep breath. We'll ask the same question, but from the other side. For a moment, transport yourself to the end of this week. Stand in the weekend and look back. Looking back at your week, what are the goals you want to have achieved by the end of the week? If you have a checklist, what are the things that when you get to the weekend you want to be able to check off of this list? This is what I got done, that I got done, this I made progress on, that I didn't get to, I don't know. What are the things, when you look at your week in reverse, that you want to have checked off of your list? Take your next big breath. And while we have control over how we set our sails, how we turn our rudder, we have no control over the way the wind blows and what the waves do. And even if your intention for this week is clear, even if you have set a sure course, there are obstacles, there are stumbling blocks. The wind changes, the waves grow bigger. How do you want to show up this week if things get tough? When how you've planned out does not quite work? How do you want to show up in the stormy weather this week, if there could be? Take your next big breath. There are two questions from this morning's work by Charles Eisenstein. The first one is about your gifts. Are you aware of what they are? What your gifts are, what you bring to the world? Take a moment to ask yourself this question. What are my gifts? What do I bring to the world? Take your next big breath. like to assure you that the answer to this question is not always obvious. It could take a lifetime to discover what our gifts are. But mostly the reason we struggle with this is because we carry some baggage around the topic of what our gifts should be, what we've been led to believe since childhood. What are important contributions in the world and less important contributions. And sometimes this messaging is just plain wrong. And it could confuse us as to what our gifts are. And I've never seen anyone discover their gifts in desperation either. But it can be a slow process of uncovering. And if you're unsure still what gifts you bring to the world, it would be great if you can relax about that. Soften on the topic. And know that by softening, you're more likely to see clearly. The question from this morning's work is, if you did not change what you did every day, if your day looked the same, the work you do, the job you do, or the way you spend your day does not change, how could I more clearly bring my gifts to what I'm already doing? There's not a question about new goals, a new career. This is simply where you are right now. How can you more clearly bring your gifts into what you're already doing? Take your next big breath. We tell ourselves stories about these kinds of things, about all kinds of things. And the fact that we tell ourselves stories is not good or bad, right or wrong. It's just how a human brain works. Your mind is telling you stories about your gifts, what gifts you have and don't have. And this is what Eisenstein means when he talks about miracles. What story are you telling yourself that hides your miracles from you? What miracles are being hidden by your old story that would be revealed by a new one? What miracle is my old story withholding from me? Take your next big breath. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel that softness seep into every cell of your body. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. Sit all the way back or lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. We are all here to contribute our gifts. To contribute our gifts towards something greater than ourselves. And we will never be content unless we are doing this. We will never be content until we feel like we are contributing our gifts to something greater than ourselves. These are the words of Charles Eisenstein. You have gifts to offer whether you think you do or not. Maybe you think you have a mundane job that doesn't add much value to the world. But then, how do you bring your gifts to what you're already doing? And I promise you, it'll change how you do what you do. This is one question for this week. How do I more clearly bring my gifts to what I'm already doing? And then about the miracles. What a beautiful explanation. That a miracle is simply something that seems impossible from a current or an old story. Something that becomes possible from a new story. What miracles, or what miracle is your old story withholding from you? And make those two the questions for this week. How do I more clearly bring my gifts into what I'm already doing? And what miracle will become visible, available, when I change my story? We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for the privilege of standing at the start of a new week. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for a moment of being able to take a step back and look at this week ahead and form a picture in my mind, do a little bit of rehearsal for what I want this week to look like. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for the reminder that I need to be flexible. There are some things I can control, and there are many things that I can't. And I need the flexibility to adjust to the winds and the waves of this week. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for seeing the examples of how our stories can change. Seeing the examples of what becomes available when our stories change. Seeing how this plays out in lives. That what becomes possible would have been completely impossible in the old story. Thank you for understanding this truth, that miracles happen when our stories change. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for jumping into this week along with us. I hope you have an awesome week. Please reflect on these thoughts. Write them down for yourself. How do I more clearly bring my gifts into what I'm already doing? Because what you do will completely change if you add your gifts. And then, what miracle becomes available? What miracles am I not seeing because my old story hides them? And understand that we can't demand these answers instantly. But when we ask, answers come. Might not be instantly, hardly ever is. But ask the questions. Become very adamant about asking the questions. Miracles are waiting for you. Have a beautiful day. Love you all so much. Thanks Estelle and Jacqueline and Lorraine and Charlene and Sunmarie and Maggie and Anthony and Nella and I don't remember who else is in the background. Lots of love to you all. Have a beautiful week. Ciao, ciao.